All right, America. Welcome to Let's Talk About It. So I found an interesting topic on an interesting story actually on I got it from the New York Post. It's a story by Mr. Chris Harris. It's about a Californian herpetologist. America, what a herpetologist is a person that studies amphibians and reptiles. Doesn't study, herpes. as I thought when I first read it, like what does a herpetologist have to do with snake venom? But anyway, so this man, his name is Tim Freed. He has spent 20 years allowing himself to be bitten by over 200 snakes and has taken over 700 um, venom shots. And his purpose is to make himself immune to snake bites. He's been doing this for 20 years. But his thought process is, and I'm going to quote him, for this is actually what he said. I'm doing something good for humanity, and that was very important to me. I'm proud of it. It's pretty cool. And so that's my let's talk about it moment. Um, is that humanitarian to you, to the panel? Excuse me, people. If y'all
Yeah,
didn't hear
I
that,
heard.
yeah, that's from my
Gotcha,
procedure.
gotcha.
Yeah, I'm still going through it, but anyway, America. That's my question. When does it become where do you draw the line on humanitarianism at the cost of your own your own life?
Health and everything.
Yeah,
I
I'm.
mean, I get it because there's sacrifice involved in humanitarianism.
But what was like? Okay, what was it all ultimately for? Is it just like the study of venoms in our body, or are they gonna somehow use his blood for something?
There
Like
you go.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Great question. So actually going to use his blood as anti-venom. So, for example, if a person gets bitten by a venomous snake, they need the venom of that particular snake
gotcha,
to create the antivenom.
right?
They say that his blood will be universal. So it doesn't matter
Okay.
what snake you get bitten by.
I'll just give you some of that shit.
That
Yeah.
you that his and so it says here that
So he's
like,
just gonna be pumped up to a machine, and all his blood's just gonna be
that's the
continuously cranked
question.
up.
Yeah,
That's the
Right.
question.
they'll take enough. They won't take it
I don't
all.
know.
Like they'll take the
They're
rate and
gonna take it
replenish.
enough to where he's turning gray, and then they let him.
I don't know about all
revitalize,
that.
But
and
it's
I
also
suck it
the
back
question,
out.
like if it's
They'll find a way to
like
replicate
does
it,
it need to
right?
be the
You would think.
universal blood to make?
Because I mean,
the
don't we?
antivenom?
Do we clone blood
He's
at the moment?
I don't know.
he's it says that
What's Delos segment?
his blood has
Blood.
Do we clone blood?
Oh
At-
yeah,
at-
we'll be talking about cloning soon.
Okay. Well, yeah.
He's gonna
Well,
get us in the mix.
yeah, we'll put a pin in that one.
Yeah.
so he's developed antibodies within his blood.
Oh,
this,
yeah.
this whole process.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
so
my question was like, what makes a person be like, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do with my life?
exactly, and that's the question, the humanitarian part of it. When did it become that he's been doing this for 20 years? So after
Yeah.
20 years,
I don't
I
know,
mean,
man.
do you give up in year 15? Do you give up in year 16? Which kind of goes back into some things that we talked about earlier.
My question is, so say I get bit by a poisonous snake, and they use his blood to help me. Will the other poisons make me sick, or would I be able to use his blood if his blood's not a match for me?
And right, and so I think that they're using his blood
As a
to
sample?
create any venom. I don't think you'll get his blood directly.
Yeah, it's not like them injecting this blood into you.
Right.
It's more or less they're
They're taking the plasma out of his blood.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
that-
what happens is the venom will get enough time, like your antibodies and your immune system will try to fight it, and enough time your antibodies will get strong enough to where it can defeat any of it. So they'll be able to distract the antivirus from the blood and separate the blood and the antivirus.
The antibodies.
Yeah, the anti-venom.
Okay, antivenom.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
they'll be able to separate because that's all the antibodies will turn into.
Interesting.
Right, and
Full of
so
science.
and he's and so
What is it? Bill Nye, the science guy. Bill.
now he.
Nye, the science guy.
I don't know. I mean, I'm scared of snakes anyway. I'm scared of snakes, period. So, I mean, it says here, like I said, he's been bitten over 200 times. It hasn't always been smooth sailing. Now, he says the first couple of times, the first couple of bites were really crazy. It's like a bee sting times 1,000.
My question is, why is he being stung? Why is he letting himself being bit and not just injecting it?
My question is,
That's what I was gonna ask. I was like, is he actually getting bit, or is he taking the venom?
No, he's taking snake bites. It's
So-
over 200.
Yeah, I'm
but
like,
no.
No pain, no gain.
yeah.
But see, that's the thing. It said he's had over 200 snake bites and 700 venom shots. So he is doing both.
He is doing both.
He is doing both.
So
He's double dosing.
what my question is, so and basically this is why people do. It's not the reason why, but it's the reason why some people are good at snake wrangling is because they get bit so many times that their body does try to fight the venom. Because that's what they do for a living is they wrangle snakes. And so, but my thing is why are they looking into what makes his antibodies so good versus other people that's been doing it for 20 years been bit like
See,
that.
I don't think that people have been. I think that people get bitten to test the antivenom, not to create an antibody. I think that's the difference.
But I also think like the sheer variety of, of things that he's been bitten by at this point has gotten him to perhaps a special point. I don't know. At the very least, he's the one that's trumpeting this. So, everybody's
Do
going to
we
be like,
think
yo.
this happened for a reason?
There you go. That's what I was saying. That's why I was saying it kind of goes into what we were talking about, because where does the humanitarianism end? Or, when is enough enough? After you're 15, after you're 16? And I mean, how many snake bites, and he's saying that it feels like a bee sting times 1,000. A bee sting hurts once. I mean, at a level 1.
Yeah.
And
So what, you think like he likes it?
Is he getting prepared for the lizard people?
and that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. At what point? I mean, he's already okay. So he has a love for amphibians and reptiles. We know this.
Yeah.
So he studies them anyway. So
Yeah.
it would have to take that kind of love to, want to even to make it a humanitarian thing. But let me say this too. I think this is important because America, if you want to look into this, it says here that his journey was covered in the Journal Cell. There's a link. It's called the Journal Cell. That you can actually look it up and see, and it might have in detail what he was trying to achieve, what his thought process was going into it. Because like I said, he's been to the ICU a few times from snake. I mean, it's not like he's just getting bit and he's still at home or in the lab and he's like, okay, shoot me with the antivenom, and I'm, and then writing down the data. He's actually had to be treated. So somewhere in his study, as a herpetologist, he's been caught slipping.
Yeah.
Snake's like, got him.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like the cause and effect. Maybe it was one of those times, like you said, like he's a studier of the reptiles and amphibians. So there was one time where he got bit. They couldn't get the snake for the venom. So maybe he was like, well, this is going to be my scientific contribution.
Yeah.
That
I don't want this to
I
happen.
don't want this to happen to anybody
Right.
else, to where they have to have the venom of the snake or the venom of
Right.
whatever. We have a vaccine for it.
Right. Or did somebody propose the question to him, what if our blood could be used as, the antibodies in our blood could actually be used to create antivenom.
Yeah.
Because to create, to come up with research, you have to propose the question.
And probably that was probably what happened is he got bit first couple times. He was like, "Oh man!"
If I had the antibodies, I wouldn't have to.
And then after the umpteenth hundred time, he was like, "Man, this is starting to get easy." Like, like what's going on here? Like, what's the scientific reason for this?
Now, let me hit you all with some numbers because this probably played into it too. It says annually, tens of thousands of people are killed by venomous snake bites across the globe. Hundreds of thousands more are left disabled. So that that's something to look at too. He could, because we're talking about globally. This is one man in California, and we're talking about him helping the world over globally. I guess is what he's looking at with these numbers. He can save people from possible disabilities, and also impact the mortality rate, of life globally, upward in a positive
and
way.
My thing is, who's to say that man's venomous ass blood won't actually help to cure diseases?
Right. And so that's the question, America. My question to you is, knowing what you know now, what I presented to you, what do you think about his level of humanitarianism? What do you think about that? What do you think about him using himself as a guinea pig, and in the process could possibly end up unaliving himself by a snake bite? That's a lot to take in. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I just couldn't. And I understand. I understand because he's a man that studies snakes. He's around them all the time. I'm like, ew. No.
I will be honest though, it does kind of sound like it's like a comic book villain kind of where he's like, I'm getting bit by every snake.
Oh my gosh.
I'm about to be venom.
Over 200 I don't know.
I'm going to be immortal.
I don't know. Yeah. Does he have a woman?
Half man, half snake.
I know.
Is she?
Does he have a woman? Does he have a mate? Does he have a mate? Could be a man.
She had a
woman.
baby. Is the baby immune?
Oh, there you go. See,
Yes.
Who wants to be who has been on this journey with him? Does he have a significant other?
Who's trying to go get that work and see if they gonna be immune?
Yeah.
Look.
I mean, hey, you got people that live in areas, the way the world is, he could be kidnapped. Let's get his blood. Hey, you never know. We just need some of your blood, bro. We got our own scientists over here.
It is definitely some comic book shit right there that I'm like,
it's a movie.
They're going to militarize the blood.
It's a movie.
Somehow.
Yeah, that's a movie. The man that was. I don't know. The man that was. That's interesting. It could become that. I mean, he's telling it. Why ain't he selling it? Hey, it could happen. It could happen. But that's my let's talk about it story for today, America. I hope you liked it. I mean, any of you all have any more to say about it? This is good stuff. I don't know.
It's definitely an interesting concept because I like. It's definitely an interesting concept because I do like the scientific reasoning for things like that. Like I said, it begs the question on, what makes his antibodies so special from other people who's been bitten like that lives that life.
But what didn't they have that he had?
Exactly. What makes him so special to where his antibodies just or something in his blood is now fighting off the poison.
Is that his purpose, America? Did this man find his purpose? I believe he did. And if he did, who's to knock him for it? I wouldn't do it, but I would not knock that man for it for wanting to save lives globally. But it begs. There's a lot of questions. I mean, how do you interact with somebody who's dedicated? How do you become one with somebody who's? I mean, do you coexist with another herpetologist? I don't know. That's the question. That's the question that I ask.
I liked it.
What's that?
I like it.
What's that?
The topic. the
Oh
topic.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
That's not something that we would normally hear out here in these streets.
I knew not. Yeah, I didn't
We
know.
appreciate your let's talk about it topics. It's stuff that don't normally.
I try to dig, America. I try to dig. I try to find something that nobody may have even if let me know, America. Put a comment, drop a comment. Let me know if you've heard about this story already, or if you know
a
something
story.
about it.
Any story. If y'all know a story, let him know about it.
Most definitely, America. What are some things that some topics that you might be interested in hearing us talk about? Drop some comments. Our main topic. We're open to suggestions. We put on our pants like everybody else, one leg at a time. So we're open to whatever your thought processes are. That could be like minded. We might not agree, but we can talk about it.
And we an 8-leg spite over here, so let us know.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. We're open to it, and we'll definitely shout you out. Okay. So what we got coming up next? Anything? Nothing? All right, America. Deuces.